Today we have with us the 2021 facelifted Jeep Compass, and in this video we're going to be giving you a very detailed review of this car, talking about the styling, the features, practicality, comfort, and we're also going to be talking about the driving dynamics of this car in the test drive review that we do later on. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I suggest you do that really quickly, because that test drive video will be out shortly after this one, and we're going to be talking about only the driving dynamics of this car in very detail in that video. So for this video, let's start with the review of the Jeep Compass. But before we start this review, let's talk about the competitors of this car, which are the Audi Q3, BMW X1 and the Mercedes GLA. But Jeep actually has a very big advantage over its competitors, and that is this car is actually completely made in India, which means the prices of manufacturing is less for this car, which means that they can actually afford to give more features for the price that they are charging. Well, if that's actually the case, we'll find out in this video. Also, a very special thanks to WSL Jeep for lending me this car for a review. They have an awesome inventory of many Jeep cars, and you can contact them using the links in the description below if you have any questions regarding any Jeep car. Now let's start with the styling of the Jeep Compass. Let's start off the styling of this car with the front end, and with just a single look, the first thing that you would notice is that this car largely resembles the styling of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and that's something I really like about the facelifted version of the Compass. Anyways, if we talk about a few styling cues of this car, such as the headlamps have been changed from the pre-facelift, and we have complete LEDs this time around, and the DRLs of this car are actually a straight line rather than the L-shaped ones that we got in the previous version. Talking about the grille in this car, we obviously have the famous Jeep grille, which has 7 large slats in the front. But in reality, this is not actually the actual grille of the car. That's actually given down below over here. That's even the scenario in the pre-facelift version. People thought that the actual grille of the car is this one, but no, that was just a fake honeycomb structure. The actual grille in any Compass has always been down below over here. That's something a lot of people don't know. But anyways, talking about the lighting, once again, the fog lamps of this car, once again LED are given on the bumper over here. And talking about the bumper has been completely changed from the previous pre-facelift Jeep Compass. This specific car is actually an 80th anniversary edition of the Jeep Compass, which means that Jeep is celebrating its 80th anniversary with this car. And this is a limited production run in the first couple of months that the new facelift has arrived. And being the 80th anniversary edition, there are a few styling differences between the normal car and the anniversary edition, such as in the front end. The biggest difference is that the Jeep logo, as you can see over here, this is blacked out, and in the normal Jeep cars you would always get a chrome Jeep logo over there and not a blacked out one. In the front end, that's the only difference, but in the side and the interior we also have other changes as well. The side profile of the Compass is like any other Jeep. It's tall, it's long, and it looks very nice. We're going to start with the alloy wheels of this car. We have 18-inch alloy wheels in the top variant and one below the top variant. In all the cars we get 17-inch alloy wheels. But being the 80th anniversary edition, we have matte grey alloy wheels in this car. Although the design is same, but the color has been changed from the limited optional variant, which the 80th anniversary is actually based on. Similarly, coming to the ORVMs, once again in the limited optional variant of the Jeep Compass, you get gloss black ORVMs, but in this car you get matte grey ones. And another difference in the 80th anniversary edition, which I really like, is that the side skirt you see in this car is actually body paneled. In all other Jeep variants, other than the Model S, that is the top end variant, you will see that the bumper or the side skirts or the rear bumper, all of them are actually black. But being the 80th anniversary edition, in this car they have copied this from the Model S, and that is the top end variant. In this car, the bumper, the side skirt and the rear bumper are body colored just like the way it should be. And then last but not the least, one of the best things is that if you look at this car, one thing that I really like is that they've given a two-tone color. This is a magnificent bright white color in the actual body, but the roof of this car is completely gloss black. But if you go for the Model S variant, in that you actually have an option. You can either go for a gloss black roof like this one, or you can actually go for a matte grey roof like the ORVMs and the alloy wheels of this car. Overall, the side profile of this car is really nice. Now finally coming towards the rear of the Jeep Compass, first thing that you would notice that has changed from the pre-facelift is the tail lamps of this car. Now the shape has remained the same, but the interior of the tail lamp, that has changed. The biggest difference being the brake light, as you can see in this car, is continued towards the trunk as well. But in the pre-facelift Jeep Compass, the brake light used to end over here and did not continue into the trunk of the car. But anyways, other than that, the rear side is pretty simple for the car. And if we talk about badging, we have the Jeep badge over here and the limited badge over there. Once again, because the 80th anniversary edition is majorly based on the limited optional package of the Jeep Compass. Now again, coming to the changes between the 80th anniversary and the limited optional, the Jeep logo once again is blacked out, and the bumper of this car is body colored like the Model S, that is the top model of the Jeep Compass. So overall, the Jeep Compass from the exterior alone is pretty sophisticated, and in my personal opinion, I really do like the design of the facelifted version of the Jeep Compass. The interior of the Jeep Compass, they have done it really well. The materials used, the way they've made it, especially the steering wheel. The previous generation Jeep Compass, I was not that big of a fan of the steering wheel of that car, but this time around the facelifted variant has done it really well. It's very sophisticated, everything is on my fingers wherever I need it, and it's very nice. It's a leather wrapped steering wheel. Speaking of leather, we have leather everywhere in this car, as you can see over here, over on the seats, everywhere you have leather. Now you may be noticing that everything in this car is black because it's an all black interior, and that is one of the perks of the anniversary edition of this car. Buying any other car, you will not get an all black interior, but in this car you do get it, which is really nice. And not just leather, talking about other materials as well. If you talk about the gear knob in this car, it's a metallic gear knob which has a very nice feel to it, and it's very nice. Other than that, we also have metal finishes over here all over the car, which makes you feel that the car really is well built, and that is very nice. I'm really sorry to interrupt. All I wanted to say that if you're enjoying this video so far, smash that like button and give this channel a subscribe so that you don't miss on any more content just like this one. So that's all I had to say. Now let's move on. Now before we move inside this car to talk about the interior features of this car, I'm going to talk about one of the biggest attractions of the Jeep Compass. That has to do with the safety features this car has. To be accurate, this car has more than 60 safety features. I mean, 60 safety features shows how much Jeep cares about its customers and the safety of their customers, which is mind-blowing. Now obviously I cannot tell you all of those safety features, but I will give you a little bit of overview of those 60 features. Some of my favorites, such as the hill start assist, the adaptive suspension in this car, not only ABS but rain ABS as well, which means that even when it's raining, this car has a special kind of ABS for the safety of its customers. Now that's just a small list, but imagine the 60 features that this car has. That alone, thinking of that, it blows my mind, and I'm a really big fan of Jeep just for including so much safety features. And I really think that Jeep has done a very good job including those. Right, so now we're going to start with the interior features of this car, and we're going to start with the steering wheel. As you can see, it is a leather wrap steering wheel, very well built, and it's also a multifunction steering wheel. As you can see, we have buttons for this display over here. We have the call picking up button, call ending button over here. And then we also have a few buttons actually behind the steering wheel, as you can see over there, and on the other side as well. So those buttons are actually for the track tuning buttons for this display, and given on this side we actually have buttons for the volume control. So that's actually very nice, because when you're driving the car, these two fingers are always behind the steering wheel and those buttons are at your access every single time. I really like that. So let's start off with this display. As you can see, first off, if I press these buttons, I can go up, and when I press enter, we enter vehicle settings, which is very standard, like speed warning, the hill start assist, the passenger airbags, all those stuff you get in normal cars as well. And then I can press this button to exit it. So if I go any further, you can see we have the digital speedometer over there, and then we press this button once again. We have the engine temperature of this car. Moving any further, we also have the battery percentage, like how much current the battery has. Say for example, if you've not driven your car for a long while, you can easily see it from here, how much battery your car has. And then moving any further, we have the odometer in this car for trip A, and then we also have the service intervals of this car, but this car is on battery as of now. As you can see, it's written battery. And then if I press this button, as you can see, we can go into trip B as well. So this is the odometer. Then if we go any further, we have the FM in this car. That is what is playing on. Right now it's playing FM. That's why it's showing FM. If I were to turn on my Bluetooth audio, I can see the audio information over there. And then we have our stored messages, which is like any kind of alerts. So for example, if this car has any kind of alerts like the TPMS sensor or anything, it will show up over here. So that's about this display. It's a very standard display, but it gives you a lot of information. Other than that, you also have the tachometer and the speedometer over here, which is analog, and I really like that. So that's very standard. But then we also have another display in this car, which is absolutely crazy, and I love the way they've integrated it with this dashboard. So this display is actually very responsive, very nice, but there is one problem. The display itself is responsive, but the animations are slow, which makes it seem like the display is slow. So for example, if I press this home button, when I press it, you will see that it registers the click instantly, but it opens up home slowly because of the animations. Let's just see. So as you can see, when I pressed it, it registered home very quickly, but then the animation took time. So I don't know why they did that, but other than that, this display is very nice. So as you can see, we are in home over here, and then we have a display of like everything. This is like what is playing on the FM as of now. We have my mobile settings over here. We have the AC settings over here, and if you want to see alerts over here, you can just press that and it gives you the notifications and stuff. Everything in this display is very nice. It gives you information regarding the AC as well. So the AC is given in actual buttons, which is very nice, and we have 2-zone climate controls in this car, which is also another great feature in this car. And as you can see, it tells us the individual temperature. Over here, driver's side, it's written 17 degrees. On 21.5 degrees, it's given for the other side. So everything in this display has been integrated very well. If you go into this, it gives us the AC settings as well, so you can change the temperature from the AC from here as well, in case you didn't want to use the buttons for some reason. Then we have our mobile settings over here. We have our car settings over here, which gives you like every single question that you have any regarding the car, it solves it over here. Or you can change the settings of the car from over here. Like this is the display settings. Then we have our safety and driving assist functions over here. Like for example, when you're using the park sense, this car actually has 360 degree of parking cameras as well, which is a great feature for this car. So in that, you can actually customize it how you want it. Do you want only the sound effects like beep beep beep, or do you want it to show it as well and then give you the sound as well? So that is some customizations that this display gives, and I really like that. So overall, this car is feature packed, and any kind of feature that you may require in this car is also given here. For example, you also have a sunroof in this car, which can be controlled from here. When I press this, as you can see, the sun blind goes off, then I can open it using this button. We have an auto dimming VM in this car, so that is also very nice. And not to mention those 60 safety features, which is just the highest level of safety that Jeep gives you. I mean, Jeep is known for its safety and the build quality that they give, and that's very well shown in the Jeep Compass as well, and I'm a big fan of that. Alright, so starting with the practicality, we're going to start with the glove box on this car, and once you open it, as you can see, it's not that wide, but it is very deep. So you can easily keep a lot of stuff over here without any problem. It is lighter as well, as you can see, which is very nice. And overall, it's a standard glove box, just like anything else. You can keep the owner's manual and other stuff over here. Moving to the center console in this car, that's where you can see it's actually a very large center console storage cubby over there, which is one of the largest that I've seen in any car. So that's very nice. We also have a USB port over here, and a bigger thing, we also have a Type-C port over here, which is nice. I've seen cars that have given only Type-C ports and only USB ports, but this is the first car which gives USB and Type-C as well. So that is the step in the right direction. Moving behind, we have two cup holders over here, as you can see. You can easily keep cup holders over here, but they have no obstruction in between them, so you can keep bottles over here as well, which is very nice. Now, given between the cup holders, as you can see, there is a space, so that is for keeping the key of the car. So while you're driving, you have a place for keeping the key as well. Now, moving just behind that, you also have an armrest in this car, as you can see, and it is very deep. As you can see, I can easily fit my whole hand inside it. So keeping a lot of stuff over here is not going to be a problem at all. And otherwise it's a very standard one. You don't have any kind of organization inside it. It's just a simple and plain old storage cubby. Also, the armrest of this car is also adjustable, so I did not mention that, but that's something that you need to keep in mind. But when you adjust this armrest to the fully extended position, it does cover up one of your cup holders, so do keep that in mind. Now the door pockets in this car, talking about the front doors, as you can see we have a bottle holder over here for keeping bottles. Then you also have a storage cubby over here, which is specifically, as mentioned by Jeep, not for cup holders. So don't keep your cup over here. But anyways, you have a storage cubby over here as well. Coming to the rear seats, we have seat pockets for the passenger and for the driver's side seat, as you can see. The center console, as you can see, does not have a storage cubby, but then you do have a USB port and then a 12-volt charging socket beneath it, as you can see. And then the center seat of this car actually folds down to reveal two cup holders, as you can see. And then you have a small space over here. I really don't know why it's there, but you can keep, I think, cards and stuff over there as well. And then last but not the least, talking about the rear doors, once again you have a bottle holder over here. And then you have a very teeny tiny storage cubby over here as well. Now coming to one of the most important parts of our practicality session, which has to do with the trunk of this car. Now first let's talk about opening this trunk, because we have three ways. First is a button inside the trunk. Second is the request sensor given over here. Now a lot of people are actually confused. They try to find the button over here, but it's actually over here. So that's one thing. And the last way to open this trunk is the key fob of the car. And one really nice thing about this trunk is that it's an electronic tailgate, so you really need to just press that one button and the trunk opens itself, which is really nice. Now while closing this trunk, once again a lot of people try to find the button over here because it's an electronic tailgate, but the button of this car to close the trunk is actually given over here. So you have to press this button. The car beeps thrice just to warn the people beneath the trunk, you know, the trunk is about to close, and then once it's done beeping thrice, the trunk automatically closes. You know, the trunk itself is pretty massive. We have a 438 litre trunk as is, but then the back seats can actually be dropped to provide 707 litres of trunk space in this car, which is pretty massive. Now some details about the trunk. It is lighted, as you can see over there, and another light over there, so that's very nice. And then we also have hooks in this car, as you can see over here, and two on other side as well, which means that you can buy a net and then you can tie down stuff on your trunk so that they don't roll around while you're accelerating or braking within your Jeep Compass. Overall this trunk is pretty big and you can easily go for a family road trip in this car without a problem. It's now time to talk about the comfort of the Jeep Compass. My initial impressions when I first sit inside these seats, these leather seats are very plush and they grip me in really well. The lumbar support, everything is very nice according to me, but then again, if it were to be adjusted, I can adjust it electronically with the controls given over here. I can move the seat back and forth, the backrest back and forth. All of these things are really nice and they're electronic for the driver and for the passenger side seat as well. We also have two memory seats in this car, which is also a great feature, and especially for the driver you also have another thing that you can adjust the steering wheel however you like. Now if this would have been electronic, that would have been better, but still they're giving you the feature to at least adjust it. That's very nice. Overall it's a very comfortable car, and going a long road trip in this car, it wouldn't be a problem at all. But that's actually the story for every car when you talk about the front seats. The rear seats is where the story changes for a lot of the cars. Let's see if the rear seats of this car are comfortable or not. Let's move on back. Well, as soon as you sit over here, the story does not change at all. In fact, I would actually argue that the rear seats are more comfortable than the front ones, which is actually not the case for a lot of cars. This is actually the first car that I've sat in and said that. Talking about the legroom, well, I'm pretty tall, 6'1". I've adjusted the driver's seat according to me, and still when I come back, I have about 4 or 5 inches of legroom available with me. Talking about the headroom, I have about 2 or 3 inches of headroom as well. So overall this car is pretty comfortable. The seat material is obviously the same as the front ones. We have the same leather seats back here as well, but somehow I don't know why it feels more comfortable. Moving to the middle seat in this car, the transmission tunnel of this car is there. I mean, it's not negligible, it's still there, but it's wide enough to keep both your legs over here. Through that, yes, the underthigh support does go a little bit low, but when you keep one leg on this side and the other on that side, the underthigh support problem has been solved and you're pretty well comfortable even in the middle seat of this car. Overall, once again, going for a long road trip in the Jeep Compass, either you're an adult, kid, any person sitting in the front or the rear, the long road trip is going to be very comfortable for you. and you'll want to go for another one. And so that was our review of the 2021 Jeep Compass, the facelifted one. Now remember, we still have to go for a test drive in this car, and we're going to be talking about the driving dynamics of this car in detail in the test drive review of the Jeep Compass. So if you haven't subscribed, I suggest you do that right now. That's it for this video. I amazingly thought that this is an amazing car. Jeep has really done a really good job with the new Jeep Compass. What do you guys think? Definitely do tell me in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, share this video as much as you can, and once again, the red subscribe button, it would really help me a lot. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.